Are you ready? No. Are you ready? Then for the 10 people viewing this video and the hundreds of thousands of people watching from home, it's time to look at the tabletop role-playing game releases coming from Wizards of the Coast finally. Just in time for the Year of the Dragon. How much could they mess this up? Oh, yeah. All right, so this was sent to me about 10 seconds ago by Jeff of Jeff, confirmed about 5 seconds ago on ENWorld and on the D&D Beyond. Wizards of the Coast has finally dropped the correct release dates for all the product line for 2024. Except for one, which is coming out in 2025, which is just hilarious. So let's go down the list and see how close we were to our predictions. So this has been confirmed, but of course it's Wizards of the Coast, so confirming this means absolutely nothing. But it has been confirmed. I'm not making this up. This is not a deep fake. The links are down below if you don't believe me. All right, the release schedule is, as going forward, we have the Vecna thing, a high-stake adventures in which the fate of the entire multiverse hangs in the balance. The heroes begin in the Forgotten Realms and travel to Planescape, Spelljammer, Eberron, Ravenloft, Dragonlance, and Greyhawk as they race to save existence from obliteration by the notorious Lich Vecna, who is reaving a ritual to eliminate all the gods and subjugate all the worlds. This is tentatively going to be released May 21st, which means digital will go live, and then the physical will go live 3 to 7 days after that, or at least whenever they have enough money to make it worthwhile. We'll get to that in the end. So, does this explain the 10-year-long storyline about the obelisks? Probably not. Does this explain the transition between Forgotten Realms D&D into Planescape D&D and the transition from the rules as we know them into the new rules? Probably not. Will they make Vecna a frickin' mark? Probably. But hey, what a great way to start things out by destroying everything. I mean, yeah, they'll probably drop the ball, but you never know. Next is the anniversary making of original Dungeons & Dragons 1970 to 1977. This is tentatively scheduled for June, just in time to be shown up at Origins. It includes the whole first draft collection of D&D by people who were there, like John Peterson, because we know John Peterson, a well-known and respected D&D historian who was there when D&D was, being played. Now we have a lot of we have a lot of concerns about this one, I think, and how they're going to present the history of the hobby, or the fact that they're only covering 70 to 76. I mean, that seems an unusual time period. Will they mention Dave? Will they mention the other people? Will they mention how Lorraine Williams screwed Gary over? Is it going to be viewed through the current perception of old D&D and Gary, how he's, racist, sexist, misogynistic, and how bad and dangerous Wizards of the Coast wants us to think old D&D is? Or are they going to do it a fair? Who knows? Next up, we have Quest for the Infinite Staircase. That's coming out July 16th, just in time for San Diego Comic-Con. And that will feature a hodgepodge of adventures. 6 classic Dungeons & Dragons adventures, all updated to the new thing. We will have genies and multiverse and stuff like that. What are the 6 adventures? I don't know. They don't say. We don't know anything about it. But they're going to have 6 classic D&D adventures that are, of course, canon. Probably Tomb of Horrors, because they seem to always go to that one. Then finally, the release of the 2024 Player's Handbook with all the new rules and stuff will be tentatively released at September 17th. So here's what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong, but based upon everything we know, we're going to see the mock-up press release at Gen Con. As you know, Wizards of the Coast made a huge deal about the fact they hadn't been at Gen Con in a while, even though they had. So they were going to be at Gen Con. So it just makes a lot of sense that at Gen Con, they drop the Player's Handbook. The promotional copies of the Player's Handbook will be handed out to the press, will be handed out to the shills, like Bob Worldbuilder and Jeannie D and the others to review. The digital will probably go live shortly, either at the end of Gen Con or shortly thereafter. And you'll have the digital D&D Beyond version. And then September 17th is when we should have the physical one. And that will be the normal physical one, which is going to cost, what, $66, I think, with the 70 new pages of artwork. But then we'll also have the limited edition special physical ones with like the gold cover and the 50th anniversary sticker on it. And for $100, you get it with a slipcase. And for $200, you get it delivered to your house by an actual dragon. I don't know. But yeah, they're going to try and milk that for as much 50th anniversary money as they can. And I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed. Just like, Deck of Many Things was delayed. And yeah, so I think they'll start saying, it's tentatively going to be on the shelves at Target and Amazon and online at dndbeyond.com the 17th if you want to get the physical one. If you bought the digital one already, you get a discount on the physical one. But if you buy the physical one, you have to pay full price for the digital one. They've done that before, so we know they'll probably do that again. And then we're going to look at the pre-sales. And if the pre-sales reach the mark they want them to read, if they get enough space on Amazon, Target, and the few mom and pop stores that are going to be able to afford it, it'll actually show up in September. But if it's anything like Deck of Many Things, and then they're not hitting the money mark that they want to hit, it'll be delayed. At the last second, they'll discover artificial intelligent art or something, because they're going to wait till that pre-sales reaches enough money for them to make it worthwhile for them to ship the physical. Next up, we have the Dungeon Master's Guide, which we don't know anything about. We don't know anything about the 2024 DM's Guide other than it's going to have at least 70 new pages of art and a whole new section on safety tools, political correctness, and other stuff, and how to run an adventure. That's tentatively scheduled for November 12th, just in time for Black Friday. So that one will probably go live digital first, and then sometime later it'll go physical, aiming to have it on the shelves by Black Friday if they have enough. Of course, again, it also depends if they've made it, if Amazon and Target order enough to make it worthwhile to have the physical available. Otherwise, it'll be delayed. Oh no, we found some artificial art in the 70 new pages of art. We have to go in and change it. And finally, and this one is the stupidest. This one makes the least amount of sense. The 50th anniversary 2024 Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual will be released in February of 2025. The 50th anniversary Monster Manual for 2024 will be released in February of 2025. Now, guys, of the 3 books, that's the easiest. That's literally the easiest, and probably should have been the first. That's the least amount of work other than changing art. How much has an orc changed from first to 2024 D&D? Armor class, still about the same. Hit points, pretty much going to be the same. Orc, I don't know, 1 attack around by weapon. And then we, put in this stuff about hit dice. And now they're not evil. They're just misunderstood. That's literally the easiest. All the work, you have 50 years of work done for you. That's literally the laziest. You literally just cut and paste and change maybe a few words to fit the current political regime and maybe throw in a new piece of art. And you don't even have to throw in a new piece of art because you have 10 years worth of D&D art that you've been using that you could just reuse. Here's the orc picture we used in 2014. It's still good. Here's the red dragon we used in 2014. It's still good. How hard is the Monster Manual that you have to delay it an entire year? That's the easiest one to do. In level of difficulty, it's Monster Manual, Dungeon Master's Guide, Player's Handbook. Player's Handbook requires the most changes. DM's Guide, that's pretty much just copying and pasting with a few new things. And Monster Manual, literally the work's been done. You have 10 years to mark. All you have to do is take 10 years of stuff that you have on file and then put it in a new book. No work. Okay, maybe Steve from art has to throw in a few new pictures. And maybe Kelly from editing has to go through and erase anything where we insinuate any of these are actually evil. But that's still, what, a weekend? A month? This should have been. We're done with the Monster Manual. We're done with. We just got to write the filler fluff for DM's Guide. Let's invest all this energy in Player's Handbook. But no, we're never going to see the Dungeon Master's Guide or the Monster Manual before these dates because they have told us they are done with the playtesting, and we're not going to see any more playtesting. And I think just having the Monster Manual coming out by the time any interest you would have had in this product line by 2025 is dumb. Just imagine what you could have done if Year of the Dragon, 50th anniversary Dungeons and Dragon Monster Manual with a giant, brand new, never before seen 50th anniversary print of a dragon on the cover, comes in a slipcase with that print on it. And if you order now, you can also get a 5x10 poster of the 50th anniversary Monster Manual, 50th anniversary specifically designed Millennial Dragon for $100. That's literally printing money. Literally printing money. That was a no lose. There was no way you could have fucked that up, but you did. How do you fuck that up? So if you didn't hear me, let's go over the dates again. Now, they'll probably throw in some other things. The Vecna is coming out in May. It'll probably be a disappointment. Will they actually address any of the things they've been hinting at for the past 10 years regarding Vecna? No, but it is a 20th level adventure, which is kind of interesting. And they do mention Dragonlance in there, which is weird because Vecna never showed up in Dragonlance as far as I know. We have the making of D&D 1970 to 1977. Mind you, D&D didn't come out in 1970, but whatever. This one I think we're all very uncomfortable with, but that's okay because it's written by John Peterson, and we know he was there. John Peterson probably knows as much about Gygax as Garby does. We have Quests for the Infinite Staircase coming out in July, just in time for San Diego Comic-Con. It's going to be 6 classic adventures. We don't know which one. I'm assuming it'll probably be the big 2. Probably get a update Tomb of Horrors. We'll probably get an update White Plume Mountain, and then whatever. We've got the 2024 Player's Handbook technically coming out sometime in September. September 17th is the projected date for the physical. Digital will probably go live after Gen Con. They'll start taking the pre-orders for the physical. Target, Amazon will get their physical copies probably around September, and then D&D Online will probably get them around September. The rest of the world, knowing Hasbro, will wait to see how much money they make for it. If the pre-sales reach that September date, then we'll see the Player's Handbook on or around the date they says. If the pre-sales don't reach that date, then I bet you, a dime to a dollar that it will be delayed. At the last minute, they'll discover AI art that they didn't see before because they're waiting for the pre-sales to make it worthwhile. Then we've got the DM's Guide in November 12th, so Black Friday. Again, same thing. We don't know anything about the DM's Guide because they've told us they're not going to show us the playtest for it, other than it's got new art and it's got 2 brand new sections of fluff that we've never seen before. And that's coming out in November. And then the one that just makes no fucking sense, the 2024 50th Anniversary Monster Manual coming out in February of 2025. Again, the easiest of the free. The easiest of the 3. And no, yes, okay, yeah. So Vecna has never shown up in Dragonlance, but I guess since they want to just fuck us over, I do not expect good things from the Vecna one. I mean, it's been a horrible disappointment since the beginning of the storyline. It looked like it was going someplace, and then they just kind of fucked it up with these black obelisks. They show up in all the adventures. They're definitely leading to something. All right, what are they leading to? It was Mind Flayers all along. You've been hinting that it was Vecna for the past 10 years. Now it's Mind Flayers? No, it was Vecna. So if you are the one person on earth who's actually excited about this and buying this, because as far as I know, I only know one person who is actually going to buy any of these. There it is. There's the dates. If you're the rest of the world, you probably don't care, because unfortunately the general consensus from everybody I know and everybody I've talked to and everybody I've seen, especially after last week and the Joe Manganiello press thing, I don't think anybody cares about 40th, 50th. I think they dropped the ball. They've done no build up. They've shown no excitement. There's no 50th anniversary calendar, 50th anniversary stickers, 50th anniversary celebration, 50th anniversary documentary, 50th anniversary coloring book. We should have been seeing these every freaking day starting January 1st. And we definitely should have seen stuff when Chinese New Year rolled around, or Lunar New Year, or whatever you want to call it, because it's the year of the dragon. Literally, it printing money. 50th anniversary special edition dragon, drawn specifically for the 50th anniversary by, I don't know, Alex Ross. On the new cover, you can get the lithograph for $100. That would have just been head over heels, pure money. But no, you didn't. You didn't do that. And I don't know why. Year of the Dragon, 50th anniversary of D&D. And you're not pushing that. Nobody's pushing that. I don't think anybody cares. I think, like Joe said, the 5e D&D bang of the last 10 years is over. And any excitement that people had for the 50th anniversary, I think, is already just starting to go away. We might have a spike in excitement again at Gen Con and Origins, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it's the 50th anniversary. The closest thing we have to an actual celebration is the fact that Troll Lords Games has been able to get the rights to all that Gygax stuff. And we're going to get to see some of the stuff. Not necessarily that the stuff's any good. I mean, it could be crap, but it's stuff Gygax wrote. And that's interesting. And it won't be filtered through the Wizards of the Coast editorial, which I think we're all afraid that documentary thing they're going to do, and the making of D&D thing they're going to do, is going to be painful, because, it has to make Gary look like the bad guy. And anybody who played D&D back then looked like bad guys, right? So, okay, well, thank you again, Joe's Game Box, for dropping this to me. And, of course, ENWorld for confirming it. Once again, I did not make this up. I am not deep faking you, but thank you to the individuals who think I have the technical wherewithal to do this, because I am honored that you think a guy like me is able to deep fake an entire interview and deep fake these things. But no, the links are there, so you can see that they're being. But of course, I'm going to milk and take ownership of the people who thought I deep faked the interview, because that's just a stupid thing. GM Grumpy McGrump. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments, let me know. If you don't care, let me know. Till next time, have a great day, and I'll talk to you all later. Really? You don't get the Monster Manuals of 2025? Really?